You're still watching News Central now. Let's take you back to the story we started the news bulletin with, going, of course, to Rivers State, where the appeal court in Lagos State has affirmed the election of Asim Fubara as the governor of Rivers State. Now, the court actually did dismiss the petition filed by the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress, APC in Rivers State, Patrick Tonyo Cole, against Fubara of the People's Democratic Party and the Independent National Electoral Commission. And of course, joining me right now to discuss this particular issue is Professor Richard Wokocha, Associate Professor of Public Law, Rivers State University. Thank you so much for your time, Professor Wokocha.
Thank you, and good day, Nigerians.
All right, now, how do you think the affirmation of Fubara's election by the appeal court impact the legal and, of course, political landscape of Rivers State?
I think it's going to do so positively. It settles some level of anxiety that has existed in his camp of the unfolding political divisions occurring in the state. So at least it's going to reduce the anxiety in that section and also give citizens of the state some prospect of certainty about the direction in which the state is moving. So I think it will impact the situation positively.
What factors did the court actually consider in dismissing Patrick Tonyo Cole's petition and upholding that of Fubara?
Well, incidentally, we're not privileged to have the text of the judgment right now. But what was reported in the media concerning that judgment is that the court said the allegation of the election not complying with the requirements of the law was not proved. So if that is the case, it means the sole ground or the major ground, which is that the conduct of the election did not substantially comply with the provisions of the law, was not established by evidence. A second point the court raised was the position of the election petition tribunal, which held that because the APC had withdrawn its petition, that the candidate could not sustain its own petition. The court ruled that one in affirmative, saying that no, the tribunal was wrong. The party withdrawing this petition did not affect the qualification or the capacity of the candidate as an individual affected to undertake that petition. So the court upheld that limb of his argument. But as to whether they proved the allegation that the election did not substantially comply with the provisions of the law, the court said they did not.
Now, how can you explain the role of INEC in the governorship election process and how it relates particularly to this court's decision?
Well, INEC is like a regulator. The function of INEC is to implement the electoral process, and that is conduct the election and ensure that the various stages of the process are properly done according to law, and then declare the outcome of that process. In a petition like this, the responsibility of INEC will be to show that they comply with the law, that they did what they were supposed to do. But of course, considering the language of the law, it is enough for the person defending to show that the law was substantially complied with, so that some defects on the role of INEC cannot affect the outcome of the result, the declared result of the election. You have to show something that is substantial, something that weighed on the scale of what has happened. It will not be fair to say the result should be sustained. Otherwise, individual misconduct by INEC staff is a criminal offense for which they will be liable and answerable, but it will not overturn the result of the election.
Now, let's look at some legal principles or precedents that you feel maybe might have been relied upon by the court to support its ruling in this case. Were there any?
Oh, definitely. You can't do a case and to conclusion without relying on principles and cases, decisions, judicial authorities establishing and affirming those principles. So definitely, incidentally, as I said, one has not had the privilege of seeing the text of the judgment, and you cannot guess what seeing the court relied upon.
Okay, quickly before I let you go, in your expert opinion, what are the broader implications of this court's decision on future election disputes in Nigeria?
Tell parties to prepare well for contestation. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Yeah. I always say decisions like this remind parties that they need to prepare well. He who alleges must prove. That is the principle of law. Anybody who makes an allegation must prepare to prove it. So if you're going to have contestations of this nature, be sure that you have gathered evidence, enough evidence, and credible and admissible evidence that can establish your case. So I think it just reminds those who are going to be involved in politics once again that if you have to, you will need to be prepared.
Thank you so much for your time.
It's a citizen's duty. Thanks for having me.